This is Striking Gold. I'm Sterling Cincotta. The Honourable Tom Tate, welcome to Striking Gold, mate.
Mate, Sterling, thanks for having me on. Looking forward to striking gold together.
I think you think about the Gold Coast, and we're putting this show together, and the idea is to showcase business leaders, entrepreneurs on the coast that are really shaping the direction of the coast, that are shaping it the future, and also shaped it for the last 20 to 30 years. And putting the list together of the target guest list, there's some phenomenal leaders in the city, and I'm very proud to feature you on our very first episode. So Thank you again. And I thought before we kick off into some of today's issues on the coast and the positives that we'll no doubt get into, I thought let's go back. Let's go back to Tom Tate. Where'd you grow up?
Well, I was born in Vientiane, Laos. Dad was an Aussie civil engineer contractor. Met Mum, and she's Thai, but was working across there because being an expat, they get more money. And what happened there is I was born there, and then shortly after that, grew up in Bangkok till the age of 11. Dad's coming back to build his business back in Australia, and he said, "Well, it's time to do some overseas education." And back then, overseas education is very important and very highly valued, and Australia was one of those destinations. And of course, I grabbed the opportunity that Dad offered. Came over to Sydney, went to Mossman Prep, and I remember end of the first year we got to pick a high school, but first up we went. Dad goes, "Well, I can't cook, and you're not too good either." I said, "Well," Dad
at 11,
yeah. I said, "Well, boarding school sounds a good go." I said, "Absolutely, I don't mind that at all." And being the only child, and to have all your friends there, happy to go to boarding school. And he goes, "Well, what kind of boarding school?" I said, "The one that gives you the best food." So Dad asked around, and Scott's was renowned to have the best food. And I said, "Well, that's where I'd like to go."
You went to Scott's?
Yeah, yeah. So went there. Finished the high school there, and decided to do civil engineering, and went to Uni New South Wales, residential college, and it's just like another boarding school, really.
Yeah.
So first year, met a wonderful lady there, and by third year at university, we still young, but we knew that. We met our soulmate and we got married. And so we didn't even finish university course. We both finished. She did physiotherapist.
Yeah.
And
so how old were you when you got married?
Got married at the age of 20.
20. Wow,
yes.
Young these days.
Young nowadays. And, 46 years later, I have to say, the funny thing is, about 10 years ago, I went to Old Boys Reunion at Scott's. And so on our table, they're all talking about how wonderful their life is and accomplishment. And one is on their third wife and another one's on their fourth. And, and they're married somebody else. And anyway, I'm listening. And they said, "Oh, Tom, you haven't said a word." I said, "Gentlemen, I'm the underachiever of all of you. I'm still on my first."
I think common in the eastern suburbs of Sydney. I think a divorce is 3 or 4 times probably very common.
Well, that's how they view it, and different. I mean, Ruth is a country girl from Cara, so you probably saw the movie. I broke her out of there.
Yeah, yes.
And but really, sometime in your life, opportunity, timing, a bit of luck, and to recognise a gem when you find a gem, and that goes in life. And for me, we just got on so well, and that literally I never look back.
Oh, it's a very inspiring story, especially at 20 years old and 46 years later. I actually went to Scots myself. I spent 6 years there in primary school, so very familiar with the East. And when you mentioned that there's a few there on the other side of divorce, I thought, yep, that wouldn't surprise me at all. The eastern suburbs click down there. But so let's stick with Ruth and. You did mention 46 years on, and
four kids later,
and 4 kids. You've got 4 kids all on the coast.
Yeah, they're all on the coast. One's a dentist. One is a qualified paramedic, and decided to become a lawyer. But now he's working in the mines because he makes a lot more money being a lawyer.
Okay.
So good on him. And the third one did civil engineering and business, so he's doing some business work. And the youngest is a daughter, Emily. She's in the film industry, behind the camera, does all the production and all that sort of stuff on the Gold Coast.
Great.
And 5 grandkids later as well, so that keeps us busy. And
I bet.
But it's wonderful, and I just blessed that everyone's healthy, living on the Gold Coast. It means that our tradition carries on, that every Sunday we all get together and do yum cha. And why I like that is it's a big round table with Lazy Susan, and we can just talk about what's going on and this and that. And of course, you over order, and by the time you get home, you relax and you caught up with everyone.
So you do that as a family every Sunday?
Yes, we do.
Oh wow, that's terrific. That's excellent. What? So when you first moved to the coast, what year was that?
That was 93. I commuted. What happened there is that I had my own construction company. And Dad had his hotel companies, and he wanted some refurbishment work done with his hotel. So I said, well, okay, I'll price it and I'll do it. So I came up in '93 and did the refurbishment at one of his building. But I noticed a little, just you can feel that some things are not right. So
in terms of what?
In terms of just the general manager's attitude, and when people don't look in you in the eyes and things like that. Anyway, I just said on a passing to Dad, I said, mate, I think you need to be more hands on. And he said to me, you got to look at the overall picture. The budget is being met and this and that. And I went, well. Then he goes, so really just saying that I don't have the time, but if you can come in, and I said, Dad, I've got a couple of contracts left to finish off, but how about I come in for a year and just check out what's happening, and I restructure it and got a new general manager, this and that, and after a year, and he goes, well, let's join forces. Like he said, you can still do your construction work and all that sort of stuff, but oversee our hotels. We got one in Sydney, 2 on the Gold Coast, and 1 in Brisbane, and a couple other.
So these are overnight accommodation hotels,
yes,
or pubs?
Resort hotels.
Okay.
Yeah. We looked at that, and we were buying hotels at a good price because the occupancy was down, room rates were down, so the yield were low, and you're able to buy well. And so we came up with the idea that we bought the hotel in Southport, and we strata titled it, put kitchenettes in, and call them bachelor units.
Right, okay.
Put the kitchenettes in and bachelor units, and we sold it very quickly. And we
so
bought
little one-bedders, were they?
Like bachelor,
Yeah, right, yeah.
Like a hotel room, basically,
right.
but you can cook and all that sort of stuff. Yep. And I looked at that, and it's easier than building, right? Because it's already built. So did that, and we did another one in Brisbane as well. And I remember Dad said, "Look, you know, you're the only son. We might as well just come together formally." And I said,
So you were still running your business,
yeah,
and looking after his at the same time,
yeah,
right?
So basically, he wanted me to shut down my business. And
How was your business going?
Okay, meaning that hard work, because construction is hands-on.
And what were you building?
And I was project managing city buildings in Kent Street in Sydney, and so it was a lot of commuting and
Right.
and so sometimes I've got to put more time there, and sometimes doing work for our family business. So came to the thing. I just said, look at that. It's a difficult choice because I'm my own person, and he goes, no, here's the deal. We have a right to veto each other, right? If we go and we find a building we're going to buy, one of us says no, we don't do it.
Okay.
So based on that, we joined forces, and I don't recall having to veto anything or Dad veto anything, because we're
always on the same page.
The feasibility speaks for itself. We know how to add value to properties, and then gradually he steps back more and more, and I keep running the family business.
So what was his role in the business while you were more active and becoming more active?
Basically, the financing part, because
Right.
he knows.
As in sourcing the finance?
Yes, in sourcing it. He knows all the bankers, and he's especially private funds. I know that he's helped some that was fledgling at the beginning, and he was one of the ones that put investment in there so they can form a finance company. So that part of it, he was, long-term person in the scene, credibility. I was a young guy, and I would only be able to do small 3-story walk-ups, and which is fine. It's how you start. But as we went, I remember sitting there talking to Dad, going, we got 5 hotels at a time, and I said, well, Dad, do you want to float the hotel and go public and all that? And
As a group?
As a group, to really expand, and because I'm looking at other acquisitions, and he said, well, if that's what you want. I went, no, I mean, is that what you want? And he goes, not really, and because we don't have to report to anyone, just pick up the phone.
To each other, yeah.
And I said, oh, okay. I thought you kind of want to go that way. So what happened there is that we decided to just stay with what we got, and they wanted to retire more, and unfortunately he had Parkinson, and so starting to age a bit more rapidly.
Right.
And so at a certain point of time, and we did the deal, and I bought him out, and continue on the family business. So, and that's how we started.
And do you think when you first got into business, did your dad want you to come into the family business originally, and you went your own way to sort of cut your own teeth, so to speak? Or?
I think the back of his mind, because he was the one who encouraged me to do civil engineering, because he's a civil engineer himself. And he said it's not about doing civil engineering work, which is good start and good pay, but it teaches you how to analyse and how to think. And that was his advice to me. And I went, well, I'd love to know how to analyse and think, and feasibility and all that sort of stuff. And so I did civil engineering, and he said it's wide. It's wide. You can go and do design work, structural engineering. You can go and build roads, airports, project management, all those things. And so with that in mind, I just went, well, it's you do that, teach you to think, sign up to do that, and I know that I know later on he was watching what I'm doing, and so by the time I think I was 35 is when we really taking off, and
when the business was taking off. Yeah.
And then that's when we came together. He needed the refurbishment.
Yeah.
and he know that I could put it together without worrying. He doesn't have to worry about it, and he knows I'll deliver good quality at value for money. That's how it works. But from there I think it was a testing ground too to see whether or not we could gel together.
Yeah.
Because Dad's been his own boss for all the time. Even when he left and when he worked for somewhere, he was a project manager. So and so it's a similar vein, but it was fortunate that we were able to work together to alpha male, but he's the dad, so you don't. The respect is all there, and of course you listen, and we didn't. Not saying we're. I just say yes to anything. We had our conversations.
Yes. Yeah.
And but looking back, how I said earlier, it's all about timing and opportunity. It was the right timing for us to come together. The opportunity is there, and other ideas I put into our family property portfolio that increased the value, and I did all of that, and so the equity and the asset base grew quite substantially. So, in a way, gave me a leg up, but wasn't a handout. Worked hard on that, and so business was a natural pathway for me, and from there we're still going.
And so, what year did your dad exit out of the business then?
Literally, it's before I was mayor, before 2012, so around 2010 I would have bought him out, something like that. Yeah.
Right. And the business is still operational today?
No. What happened is that I became mayor in 2012, and a couple of years later, and I remember Ruth saying, she said, I didn't really put up my hand to be the CEO of the family business, even though she's happy to do all the paperwork and all that. And,
sure.
And I said, well, hon, it's not that bad. She just looked at me going, no, it's quite stressful. I went, oh, really?
Did Ruth have involvement throughout the business prior to?
No. Once I took it over, that's when Ruth came in.
Yeah.
Okay. And I said, well, okay, what's the stress? He said, well, in hospitality, people live week to week, hand to mouth, and that means you got to make sure that the payroll's done every week, and that the cash flow's there to meet it. I said, yes, son, I've been doing that for 2 decades. She going, yes, but it's the thought of
it's all on her now.
Of that, that you got 200 people, which is 200 families. I mean, she's thinking deep. They got kids, and I'm going, oh, okay, fair enough. I mean, I never thought that. I just look at, money's going to come in. Here's my payroll. Yeah, here's the code. Well, no matter where I am in the world, I'll do the payroll and it'll be paid. Yeah. But she's, we have staff functions, Christmas parties, and all that, and she's a people's person, and she really feel that they're part of the family, and that she would be so stressful if she let them down. And I went, that's wonderful, hon. That's what we're going to do. I said, yes, but you'll make a decision to buy something else, and then the cash flow, where it's going to come. I said, I always meet my obligations, and And then anyway, look, you can't force. I just said, look, what we'll do is that we'll sell the hotels, which we did, and the Islander is the last sale in 2015, I think, and I kept the car park. I said, which sounds small, it's a big car park, and I said, hon, this is not bad. It's fully leased out. All you have to do is make sure those line marks once every 2 years
get repainted.
Same colour, yellow, right? Get that repainted, and just collect the money every month, and that's it. And she said, "Yeah, all right,
great business.
That's fine." I said, "It's really," it's really the way it's structured that the lease comes in, pays for all the outgoings, land tax, council rates, etc., and it's watch his face. It's really land banking without hurting our cash flow in the middle of surface paradise. That's the idea, and other residential we have, and just rent them out, and she was happy with that.
So 2012 comes around,
yes,
and you've built a very successful business, and you make the decision to run for mayor.
Yes.
Why?
Timing again. Leading up to 2012, I was already, I think, president of Service Paradise Chamber of Commerce, and I was regional chair of Chamber of Commerce Industry Queensland. And with that, I mixed with all the business leaders and all the chambers on the Gold Coast. And at that time, people I don't know if they can recall, but the council was dysfunctional, infighting, development application was, it's just a simple 3-story walk up will take you 12 to 15 months to get approved, things like that. So confidence wasn't there, business was agitated, and being head of the chamber, I called the presidents and I said, right, what do we want to achieve? Infrastructure, the whole lot. They said, okay, what we do is we get those projects, let's get it costed. Among us all, we can cost it all. And once we've done that, let's do a presentation to the mayor and the CEO of the city, which we invited in, and we did the presentation and everything. And I thought it went well, and to really help assist. And
so these are essentially private projects that you're putting together.
Council projects.
Council projects,
yeah,
right?
Like we need that roads there. We need light rail or whatever it may be, right? So future planning, future proofing the city, and that we saw that, and the planning department needs restructuring and things. Anyhow, 3 months later, I rings the CEO and said, "Oh, so how'd you go with our ideas?" I didn't get any response. That anything good, anything bad, timeline, you're going to do it or whatever.
No feedback whatsoever.
No, and it's almost like I can hear the pause. In other words, they just shelved it.
Right.
I went back and I reported the shelving and said, well, we've got to do something about it. And I went, all right, well, let me talk to my wife. I went home. I remember I did a few things. I thought, I said, honey, we can make a few more dollars, 3, 4 million, 5 million, whatever. It's not going to change what we eat. As in
privately,
yeah.
Keep doing the business.
Yeah, and we're at the level where, well, we got...
You're comfortable.
Very comfortable.
Yeah.
And I said, the only thing I'd change, maybe, upgrade our car more often, bigger boat maybe, that's big enough already. And I wasn't even a boating person. Already a nice house, all that stuff. The kids are at school, So my point is that chasing the money is not it shouldn't be the be all and end all anymore. Mm. And I was already doing a lot of community boards. I was on the Gold Coast Rugby and the Turf Club, So in my way, I want to put back to the community, and I was serving already.
Right.
And she said, yeah, I know, you spend about 3 days a week doing all those board stuff. I said, yeah. I said, well, I want to spend more. And I said, I'm thinking of running for council. And she smiled and she goes, it's the mayoralty, isn't it? And I said, well, that's how you shake it up.
Yeah.
Go
Was she
in there.
expecting that, do you think?
I think when I said I'm running for council, she knew I wasn't just going to go as a councillor.
Yeah.
And it's not about career building in politics because even now people know I'm a fake politician. I speak my mind. I don't curtail to party politics.
Yep.
Just and say what I want. What people know exactly what I say is what I believe in, and articulate, not so much, not smooth. If people want a smooth speaking, articulate politician, we'll go to Canberra. The Gold Coast don't
We've
have
got
one.
enough of them down there.
Yeah, no, the Gold Coast don't have one of those. No. We're just the way we are. So what happened then? And then the next week I came back. I said, "Hun, you thought about it? I mean, I can't. It's a team decision.
So you wanted her blessing?
Yeah, wouldn't do it otherwise.
Right. Okay.
And I remember I came back, and her mother's in the kitchen. I said, I got a CD, have a listen to this. I put it on, and it was a jingle. Of course, you got to have a jingle back then. and I copied Gough Whitlam a bit, and it was, it's time for Tom.
Tom, did you?
They're all laughing and so corny, And anyhow, so anyway, cut the long story short, I tried before '08 with party politics and didn't get there. And 2012 was a serious one, so we went for it. And there was 3 sitting councillors even run for mayor as well. Opportunity too. So that means you knocked off 3 incumbent when I go in. So it's a lot fresher. And you know how I said it was dysfunctional. Well, you need new blood. And so when I went in 2012, and you know what I did? Got the CEO in. I pulled out that presentation. I said, laid it out and said,
Rubber stamp.
that's my mandate. That's what we're going to do. And he goes, they're my policy. And really, it's the policy culminated. The manifesto was a group think from all the president of the chamber. So it was good.
And so, talk me through that campaign. What did you initially run on?
I analysed it. It's what's in it for me, meaning the people of the Gold Coast. Yeah. I said lower rates, right? Jobs, because I'm going to diversify the economy, and really for the future generation. So what we want, this is the byline, is we want certainty. That is, council are solid in decision making. Certainly brings confidence. Confidence brings investment. Investment brings jobs, and jobs allows our kids to stay on the Gold Coast. And if our kids stay on the Gold Coast, as we talked earlier, you can have yum cha together on Sundays. So that's really the essence of it. Give certainty and confidence, bring investment and jobs, and that will grow. I didn't get in so much detail about diversifying our economy, but it has taken quite a time, and our economy now has grown quite a bit.
Yeah, how would you say from that, we're talking 13 years, how would you quantify that 13-year period over since you've been mayor? And obviously we've had that artificial spike on the back end of COVID from a lot of migration, a lot of property prices have increased.
Yeah, I think naturally the Gold Coast attracts entrepreneur and innovative people. Right? It does that because it was built on people who will look at the Gold Coast and go, "I'm willing to have a go." Right? And to give you an example, I was at Tony Longhurst's tour yesterday at Marine Precinct, and you looked across and you've seen Bill Barry Cotter and his marine. So there were cow paddocks.
Yeah.
They've turned it into a marine industry that's the biggest in Australia. And if you got
Gold Coast City Marina.
yeah,
Yep.
So if you got a 100-footer, they got more 100-footer out of the water into the sheds than anywhere else. Matter of fact, the only other place probably Fort Lauderdale, mate.
Is that right?
Might have, yeah.
Is that
So
right?
yeah, so what happens is that the super yachts and all that, they're all coming here now, and so that's just one industry. The film industry is another one that we've got behind a camera. We've got people who are willing to have a go. Our stuntmen are the best in the world because they have no fear. These guys, and they're Aussies. It's just the way they're bred, right? And so that's that one. Medical research, we've got some wonderful medical research. We're going to have cure for malaria and a lot of other vaccines coming through. Why? Because they're willing to have a crack. The Health and Knowledge Precinct expanded to the extent that with our city high fibre optics, 99 kilometres of it, close loop, and now we'll have a data centre that's going to be built, sod turning probably in the next 3 months.
Whereabouts?
At Health and Knowledge Precinct near the Griffiths University and the Gold Coast Hospital. And that innovation hub is this. They have the technology. If you've got brain surgery and in brain surgery, some parts of the brain you need, we've got some of the best brain surgeons here, but in some parts they will have a specialist, say in New York, but through high fibre optics, they can use robotics and through internet
And operate
together.
Wow.
From New York and our guys are here.
Wow.
So that's
cool.
That's quite innovative and printing artery valves, 3D printing and printing body parts basically there. So those sort of technology. Our medical is now second biggest economy in the city. The biggest economy is property development, and then you've got education, IT, tourism. I think it's around fourth now.
So tourism was a leader for
it was number one.
Tourism and property or construction. They were the
Number
two
one.
things on the coast, weren't they?
So now when
That's
we
a
look at
great
it,
spread now.
yeah, when we look at it, so like the data center, when I talked to him, he said, well, we got AI in there and we got quantum computing, which they want to do. So they said we need a lot of energy and water. I said no problem, we can do that because we're building waste to energy plant ourselves, $1.6 billion.
Right.
Right, we call it the ARC, the Advanced Resource Recycling Centre.
Right.
So all that, it's fitting in, and I said, well, mate, we should have we used to have submarine cable coming in to the Gold Coast, and we should resurrect that project and have the submarine cable, which is a lot of it's still there, but have it plug in to the Gold Coast again, so that if you're doing a film industry, you're going to edit something, and you got someone in LA, they can send it over, and then it's 24 hour. So then the minute you go, these people here is shutting down to go to sleep, those people are waking up and continue the film editing. That's just sort of thing. So and I said the data center hooking into our high fiber optics, it's very secure. And I jokingly said, it's so secure as this. I believe that Tom Cruise would be mission impossible to hack into it.
Really?
He goes, yeah. I said, like, physically that is. I mean, for him to dig down and to get into our cable, he's got to do it in 7.5 minutes, because if it takes longer than that, the light rail will run him over, because I bury it directly underneath the light rail.
So is this private enterprise, the data centre?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And so we're doing a deal now to include our high fibre optics. So and we've got so much. We'll keep some of it for the city, but there's so much room because I put 2 pipes in there and we just thread the cable through, and they're ready to go. And so those dark fibre will be livened up, and the technology is going so fast, with AI and all this sort of stuff. So I think that's going to be in demand.
And touching on AI seems to be the hot topic of just about anywhere in the world at the moment. I see there's a trend of tech billionaires as well-known sort of financiers that are now sort of going into funding entertainment venues, purpose-built entertainment venues, also even investing in league teams, in potentially making a shift back into live entertainment, live sport, live music, live arts. Where do you see the coast fitting in being able to attract potentially world-class entertainment, live events, sports?
Yeah. Let me
add... We need venues first.
Yeah, let me add gaming into that as well.
E-gaming?
Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah. So the project that I've done a deal with the state government is that we want to build an arena, 12 to 15,000 seat.
This is Southport?
Southport, yeah. And that's for the Olympics,
Yeah.
But it's really a legacy project.
Yeah.
So its expression of interest has gone out now, so I can speak about it.
For tenders to build?
To build, yeah.
Yep.
And from there, in the tender, I said, well, I want to know who's going to bring the content. That is, the different artists and all that now, the Ed Sheeran, all that. Who's got the content? They've got to be part of the bid. On top of that, then I wanted to look at the opportunity of having, Gold Coast basketball team to be resurrected here. So that's entertainment as far as I'm concerned. On top of that, then we'll look at e-gaming. So it's a multi-purpose arena. And the Gold Coast Arena then did the deal with state government. The land's transferred over to us, which is a very big piece of land.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful spot too.
Yeah.
Great spot.
It will liven up our CBD. And I said underneath there, it's a bit like the Stafford Centre in LA, where the Lakers play, right?
Yep.
Similar there where you got restaurants, retail, all those sort of things on the ground. Might even, and it's enough room to build a mixed-use apartment hotel as well.
Okay.
So when you can do all of that, all that equity then we can put into the project. And the idea is that the tender will go, well, I said, build a dream, milk it best you can, make it look good, but I need it for the 3-4 months during the 2032 Olympics.
Okay.
And let me know 30 years, 40 years, but it ends up revert back to belonging to council.
Right.
So that's the idea of it. But to answer your question is that with digital screens and all this sort of stuff, we want the latest technology. The Inuit Arena in LA, it's quite amazing that they recognise facial scanning. Like, let's say you bought a ticket. You walk in, you don't have a ticket. They know
your face.
They know you got a ticket.
Yep.
You go to the counter, pick whatever it is. You don't have to get your wallet out. You just go to the seat. Like literally, you just feel like you're going to your cinema in your own home because everything's sorted for you.
Right.
That's a sort of technology. And with the light rail, public transport, and parking and all that, easy to get to. So if you make it easy and then you call it an event centre, mate, people from Brisbane, all over Australia will come and enjoy what's to offer.
And when do you think this will be up and running?
I believe that it should be all done and dusted by 2030.
2030, okay.
Right? And if I can push it for a bit earlier,
Yeah.
I would. But the design work and the approval process is not hard because it's in the PDA, which is the prior development area for Southport. So the approval process, there's no right of appeal because it's a PDA, and it's legislated in the Olympics legislation that's going to be used for Olympics. So so really, approval process should be streamlined, and that's what gives you confidence. And people from all over the world will look at that and have a go at.
That's really exciting. It's a really exciting project. I think it's important that we've got a strong Southport on the Gold Coast. I think over the past, probably 10 years, seen a slight decline in and around the area. I think a strong Southport, a strong CBD makes for a strong Gold Coast, and other aspects to sort of getting Southport up and running. What are your thoughts on it?
I think
sort of pre-2030.
Yeah. Well, we own a lot of property in Southport. We mean in the council. So I believe that the entity that we just created is called Invest Gold Coast. They're looking into how we can stimulate and do a private-public partnership.
Right. Okay.
And that means if they're going to build a building there, we want X number of floor for council accommodation, for office space, and retail and all that. So crunch the numbers. The land's there.
Yeah.
We've got no debt on it, and but the idea is that we get return on our land, and that and in equity and money. And if you could say that you're not wanting to get paid up front, gives them a chance to no holding costs that burns them. They can do all their DA and all that, and then go, right, we're ready to go. So a lot of times when in property development, people take 12, 18 months to get a DA. Meanwhile, rates, land tax, it's burning them up. The holding costs, right? Yeah. And meanwhile, the construction cost keeps going up. So some of the projects are being stalled because of all of this. Well, in this case, there won't be any holding costs because we're holding it.
Yeah.
And when we don't pay rates.
Good perk. You mentioned before the light rail, and it's important to get the city moving.
Yes.
And we've seen the last couple of weeks the decision to not extend past Burleigh. What are your thoughts on that decision?
I think it's a mistake.
I agree.
And I'll quote the Premier. He said that no solution is not a solution. So my thing is, well, what is your solution? He's saying no solution is not a solution. Okay, good. I like that. So what is the solution? If it's got to be metro bus like Brisbane, when? And the corridor,
when?
You're going to go down the same corridor. So what I'm getting at is what they will find is that doing that solution might be good enough for 5, maybe 10 years of a life cycle. And at the end of the day, light rail is the most optimum solution.
I think it's revolutionised the coast.
The
light rail.
It's been, I drive past. It's always got people in it.
I think it's just brilliant.
And when we get to Burleigh, people are going to get what will happen in May next year. The Stage 3 will be open. People can get to Burleigh, get off, and they go, we want to get to go to the airport.
Yeah.
Where are the buses? So what happens when they stop, it's equivalent to 12 bus load. Right? People just offload. It's 12 bus load. You've got to get on 12 buses. In 7.5 minutes, there'll be another 12 bus load.
Yeah.
That's 24 buses. How are you going to load them to go to the airport? Yeah. You can't just go,
impossible.
Right, we'll increase the 777 line, and I don't know, they're running every half an hour, one bus or whatever. Well, it's dramatically different. Okay, let's say, for instance, that they've worked it out that they can load 12 buses. Another 7.5 minutes, another 12 buses. Well, let me say you can have buses going down there, but the traffic's going to be jammed. I can see it. Like, well, you're adding that many buses into your corridor without expanding the corridor. It's got to go somewhere.
Yeah.
So they're the logical things that I'm going, well, it's a state-led project. You decide to kill it. If you don't resolve it, Gold Coasters will kill you, meaning we're a blue city.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to turn red, not because of blood. It's going to turn red because there's going to be a few seed floating to the other side, because people will speak with their vote, especially the silent majority. You know, you can go out and do polling now. It's a whole of city project. All this bit about, let me ask the section of Palm Beach people what they want.
Yeah.
Well,
we've already got the shits now because
it's too late
during the development, right? So
yeah, but also the light rail was one project, just happened to be built in 4 stages.
Yep.
So 3 tiers of government has said yes for since 2010 till now. 15 years of the project, we're good to go. And 3 tiers have been funding it. And then all of a sudden, new election, and let me be blunt, the fear of losing the seat in Burleigh for Conservative is the motivation, as far as I'm concerned. I don't see any other logical part.
Right.
Well, when you make a wrong decision like that to save a seat, well, you might save that seat, maybe.
You're going to lose others.
But you're going to lose a few others. It's going to be a net loss. And happy to go on a record here. That's my belief is. And why do I say that? Because, you know, I don't want to see Conservative government being out of power because they lost seats on the Gold Coast. I don't want to see that. So, you know, only a mate can tell you the truth, right? That's how I view it. You can go to other major cities. Go to Shanghai, or even small cities like Chengdu, wherever. I just picked 2 Chinese ones because they built it so quickly. But Europe city, they all got public transport from the airport straight in. Brisbane has it. Why can't the Gold Coast?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. I think, I mean, you're probably right. It's to appease the minority for now and potentially pay the penalty later on.
Well, the silent majority will look at what happened in the States with silent majority for Trump. You know, and they're not just MAGA people. They're just people going, I had enough of the bullshit.
Yeah, common sense people.
Yeah. And I think the idea of generationally, I've always voted this way. My dad had voted this way. Nah, this is hurting me, and this is hurting our city. I'm going to vote for whoever's going to give us a solution.
When you mention that, you typically find, especially in your role, that individuals might come to you sort of looking for a solution. You know, why can't you do this for me? You know, solve my problem for me. You know, we see it in, you know, sort of those major events that happen throughout the coast, you know, COVID, the cyclone, you know, it's like, you know, you're up there sort of whizzing the clouds around and sort of was on you, you know, during that period. With that comes a little bit of media scrutiny. How do you deal with the media? What's your relationship like with the media?
Oh, it's a bit like when it's good, it's really, really good. When it's bad, it's horrid.
Right.
But, you know, my focus is...
You don't care. Yeah, I mean, you don't care. I mean, it's a water off duck's back, I can tell, right? I mean, you don't care what gets written about you. It's, you know, if it's a negative piece, I don't think that stops Tom Tate, does it?
No, it doesn't stop me. But you know, we all want to be loved.
Yeah.
I'm no different.
Yeah.
You know, but my resolve is that if I believe what I'm doing is the best for our city, and I'm getting bang up about critics on social media, wherever, and I will stick to my guns because my belief is, well, I'm in a job to do, to serve the city and do the best, and that's my belief. That's the best solution. I will drive for it, and no matter party politics or whatever, well, the city comes first, and once you have that conviction, right, all those things is water of a duck's back. It's just like, and you know, the best weapon, smile about it.
Smile about it.
And I remember that it's not even my decision. The sculpture at Hotta, you know, they're saying it's ugly, and on the entry is a red guy with another baby upside down or something. I call it Gary. Right? It looks a bit like a Gary, I know. So they hated Gary, protest and everything, petition, the whole works. And I came out and go, well, you know, art is subjective. If you look at Gary, you don't like it, catch a lift, go upstairs to the exhibition bar, have a drink, come back down. If you still don't like Gary, go back up there and have another drink. Keep doing it until you do like Gary. Because my attitude is, Gary's going to look good by the time you leave.
6 beer Gary.
My point is, art is subjective, and if you're really, really concerned about that artwork there, it really is a first world problem.
Yeah, it is.
You know, like,
it is.
Let's worry about trying to find cure for malaria and help fund that. Let's create more jobs in the film industry. And let's look at affordable housing. Let's see how we can help the state government about the homelessness. They're the sort of thing that we should worry about, and let Gary be himself.
Totally agree. Totally agree. I actually saw on the news this morning the teenage crime make another appearance on national television this morning, specifically here on the coast. I feel the last 6 months we kind of got on top of it a little bit. It seems to be e-bikes, you know, the gangs on e-bikes at the moment. I think overall, probably not quarantined to the Gold Coast, but for some reason it's, you know, headlined out of here. What do we do here? Well, I mean, what's the solution here?
I just reflect, in any of those things, the Gold Coast is a city that spotlights are on.
Certainly, yeah.
We're the largest non-capital city. We've got more events happening. We're the tourism capital for Aussies. You know, you talk to Victorians, they all come up here in their winter to the Gold Coast. It's their second home. So when you add all that up, I mean, the Gold Coast is always in the media for good or bad, right? And of course with these e-bike kids, I'm penning a letter to the Premier suggesting that first up, you know, you can't, no more Mr. Nice Guy. We got to legislate first up. These bikes, e-bikes, can go as fast as 60 kilometres an hour.
It's too fast.
They're weapons.
Unnecessary.
Right?
Yeah.
When a group of teenagers come together, they don't have the experience to ride that fast, and someone's going to get hurt. Right? I mean, last week, 17-year-olds lost his life, you know. So first you've got to start with legislation so that those bikes got to be registered. You got to have a license, driver's license, so that you can implement. You know, why do I slow down, or why I don't go through red lights? Because I don't want to lose my license. Now it hurts to lose 3 points, 4 points, because you only got 12.
Yeah,
right? And so we've got to get that. And I have had people say, it's the parents should be involved. Yes, I think that the parents can talk to them about, these are teenage kids, and reflect on when you're a teenager, you know. and you're out there among other teenager peer group and all that. Well, unless the parent is sitting piggybacking on the e-bike, they're not going to listen. No. You know, so good, you can do that, but I think you got to legislate it and come down on that for a start. Limiting the chip, in other words. I'm not an expert, but talk to the expert. I think
is it
the maximum
speed restriction?
Yes, speed restriction, so that you just go. It's illegal to have a chip in there to create the bike to go above 20 kilometres an hour. The idea of having an e-bike is like you can go to a shop to buy grocery or deliver, go and see your mates or whatever. It's a short travel, not a long travel, right? So it's useful that way. And technology is that, we want to grab the technology, but speed kills. Everyone knows that. So have a limit there. And the other thing is there other technology? Can we jam those in other areas that they can't even go into the high traffic area, like Esplanade of Surfers Paradise, that the e-bikes just cuts out and they got to get off and push it along? Fine. The coast is such a big linear city. There's plenty of other places where tourists and elderly are not there. Well, they'll leave them alone. And so they're the sort of things that we should act on. And you know, Queensland, we're lucky that we don't have an upper house. We only got one house, the lower house. So to have the legislation go through promptly, it's not hard. And really, I can see both sides of politics putting up their hand on this one.
Yeah,
because it's safety first, right?
Yeah.
So you know, the letter will be signed today, and it will be emailed directly to the Premier, and pleading that if you could do something about it, and I don't even care to say, all right, let's trial it on the Gold Coast. Do a 6-month trial even, right? And then the police got the power to do that. The real illegal ones, let's say, they said, what about the ones they increased the power? And I just said, maximum's 20. But if they don't bring it down, you know what? You take it off them, like the Hoons. Confiscate it. And matter of fact, crush it. You know, well, that will go.
Yeah. You only have to do one or two.
That's it.
I would have thought.
And you know, and for parents, they go, well, I can't buy that one for. I'm not going to buy a
$3,000 scooter
for Christmas, and that goes faster than the legal limit.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it'd be crushed.
Yeah.
And you know, that's one thing. Law-wise, if you confiscate it, it's no longer belong to them. Well, you know, happy to send it out to the remote areas where communities that don't have. Poor community don't have transport, but make sure you change the chip and take it off them.
Sounds common sense to me.
Well, sometimes common sense, if it sounds right, they should have a go. I don't want a lot of rules and all that, but when it comes to people going to hurt other people, and it'll be devastation when they run into somebody who's got mobility issue, and you break their hip and they're gone. That's when people go, well, you know, why didn't you fix it? And the other thing also, I can see other drivers getting road rage. You know, like you're driving along and you see these little kids weaving in and out, and somebody's going to go, I've had a bad day. And it's boom,
knock them off.
Well,
we've seen a few of those actually popping up on socials.
You know, so we should take it as a warning. Safety is number one, and you know what? If the rules you put in is a bit harsh, well, you can wind it back, but go in hard first.
Correct. What's the Gold Coast look like for Tom Tate in the next 10, 15 years?
I think it's a city where it will grow, because our lifestyle is the envy of Australia. I mean, when I'm in Melbourne, making a speech and promoting the Gold Coast, and at the end I'll go, You know, there's only two type of Australians. One that lives on the Gold Coast and the other wants to live there. And for you people in Melbourne, I think you'll be coming up because you had enough of being locked down by Daniel Andrews. Matter of fact, my attitude is Daniel Andrews is probably the biggest promoter for the Gold Coast.
A lot of them came up, right?
I should make him honorary citizen because every stuff up he does down there, I get more Melbourne people coming up here.
So you welcome migration?
I do because Aussies has a right to live anywhere they like, and I view the Gold Coast is a great place. I came up here. Why can't they?
Yeah.
The only
we've got a high percentage, don't we?
Yeah.
Proportionally, the population.
We all come from somewhere.
Yeah.
There are very few people are born and bred here.
Yeah.
But here's what I say is this: the task for council and state government is that we've got to be ahead of the population growth on infrastructure build. You know, case in point, light rail. But I'm building the advanced resource recycling, the waste to energy, so we can handle the waste without going to landfill. Water, recycle water and all that. We've got to be in front of it. Parks, we've got to make sure that parks are in place. We've got to quarantine. The target is 51% of the city is to remain open space and green. That means that where you're going to build along the coastline is where people want to live and build it upwards, right? And it's the cheapest way of doing infrastructure because let's say if you're going to do 100 homes, you're going to lay sewage pipes and all that electricity, to 100 homes. It's easy to do just one stack for one building, and so that makes sense, and that gives you affordability. So one bedders and a study, if you go upwards, and if you want to make it more affordable, we'll do it in Labrador and other cheaper area. But the key is there's still a library you can go to. There's community hall. There's community gardens, even to get there, and public transport. That's the key, and you got to be able to get to. We're water people. You got to be able to get to boat ramps. You got to be able to get to the beach. That sort of thing. And east-west connection for public transport is really the next big thing we got to do.
Couldn't agree more. Well, Tom Tate, I would safely say the Gold Coast is in safe hands, and I'd like to thank you for joining me today on episode 1 of Striking Gold.
Oh, thank you, Sterling. It's been good fun, and maybe in 12 months' time, let's do a recap.
Would be great.
I thought I'd put that in.
Absolutely. Welcome back anytime.
Thanks, mate. Cheers.
Okay, thank you.